really hard to defend. You know, she needs a crowd around her. I think Caitlin Clark is really hard to guard, you know, when she's healthy. Just her ability. She gave us a lot of handful this year, and, you know, she can shoot it from way out, but she's can pass it, and you know, I think she's...
Every WNBA coach secretly believes what Sandy Brondello just made, but they hardly ever say it out loud. She described Caitlin Clark as the league's hardest player to guard, which is a great praise from someone who has personally dealt with her. Sandy isn't merely speaking. She has been the target of Caitlin's powerful performances. She saw Caitlin score 25 points in the first half by herself and witnessed her first ever rookie triple-double. The way Sandy talks about attempting to protect Caitlin is amazing. It offers a more profound understanding than basic basketball strategies. However, most people may be missing something more in Sandy's remark. It goes beyond Caitlin's abilities alone. It has to do with how respected she is among seasoned coaches who have witnessed her dominance over and time again.
She's not shooting so well, and like, okay, well,
the best game of her life. Yeah,
she's just made 5, you know, shots. But what? No, let's change it. That's when I'm like, you know, I always say analytics. You know, it's great information. It gives you knowledge, but then sometimes you got to see. Yeah, non-shooter. She can't shoot it, and they make 3 in a row. You're like, okay, let's play a little closer now.
Go underneath her. She's not shooting very well. And, well, it was the greatest game of her life. You know, she just took 5 shots.
What?
No, let's alter it. At that point, I said, you know, I always say analytics, you know, it's great information. It provides you with information, but occasionally you have to see.
Yes.
Not a shooter. You're like, okay, let's play a little closer now. When you can't shoot it and they make 3 straight.
And they make 3 in a row, you're like, okay, let's play a little closer now. Like, come on. Like, you know, that's when you think, yeah, you just got to, this is what I see. That's why I say I'm human driven. And
I'm not going to lie, like, I think that's one of those things with Caitlin. It's like, you're never going to leave Caitlin open. Just like, you're never going to leave Paige open. Like, Paige shot the ball terribly from 3 last year.
Did you understand Sandy's true words? The analytics tell you one thing, but then Caitlin just makes 5 shots in a row, and you're like, okay, forget the stats, she clarified. That is amazing. Imagine professional coaches having whole analytics departments devoting hours to researching shooting percentages and trends in order to create defensive strategies. However, Caitlin constantly ruins such ideas. Because what works on paper doesn't work in practice, she forces coaches to abandon their game plans. The portion where Sandy discusses crawling beneath screens on Caitlin is the most illuminating. Going under in basketball effectively shows little regard for the shooter's shooting abilities by daring her to make the shot. One of the most blatant examples of disrespected defense can display is that. Sandy says that Caitlin isn't duped, even when metrics point to going under. She reads the defenses flawlessly, frequently holding her supporters accountable for their presumptions. It goes beyond her talent. It has to do with her game IQ and mental toughness, consistently outwitting the most effective tactics intended to stop her. Caitlin is one of the league's most dangerous players because of her capacity to confound metrics and expectations. Please subscribe to our channel and leave a like if you enjoy this video.
Again, Nate Tibbetts. What Nate Tibbetts has sacrificed Kalia Copper. Like, he sacrificed Kalia Copper to guard Caitlin, and it wasn't enough. It wasn't enough. Caitlin was a rebound off a triple-double. I think she had, was it like 15, 13, and 9? She was a...
You will never leave Paige or Caitlin vulnerable. Pay attention to Sandy's emphasis that it goes beyond coaching tactics. It's about respect that verges on terror. She likens Caitlin to Paige Buers, who had trouble shooting 3 points at low volume the previous season. According to Sandy, the statistics are irrelevant. They are nonetheless guarded by defenders as though they are going to score 40 points. They will demand payment if you give them space or treat them disrespectfully. The way teams actually adapt to Caitlin is even more startling. To slow her down, they make concessions by removing players from their typical attacking responsibilities. Teams are prepared to go above and beyond, even if it means upsetting their entire offensive scheme because Caitlin poses such a serious and actual threat.
Picked her a full court in preseason. Carlos Mesco just said, Ryan, you can score 0 points. We actually don't care. You can score 0. We don't care. As long as you guard Caitlin, you're good. You're good. Like, I know there was a game where where Ryan killed Fever while guarding Caitlin. But like we've seen it with Cheryl Reeve.
This is amazing. To protect Caitlin, championship-winning coach Nate Tibbetts gave up Kalia Copper.
Consider that.
Kalia Copper is a potent offensive threat who plays aggressively, makes shots, and scores. However, Tibbetts essentially ordered her, "Your only task for tonight is to pursue Caitlin. Put scoring out of your mind." Despite this, Caitlin came very close to recording a triple-double with 15 points, 13 assists, and just 1 rebound. Despite being protected by one of the top defenders in the league, she was on the verge of becoming a triple-double. That is the definition of unstoppable. However, no one is discussing the reasons behind coach's willingness to make such drastic compromises. What is it about Caitlin's style of play that forces teams to entirely rethink their tactics in order to divert their top defenders from their regular positions in order to control her? It demonstrates how much she controls the court and compels teams to make unimaginable changes.
It was as bad as I've ever seen Caitlin play. She literally, like, what's her name? Becky Hammond literally gave Aaliyah Boston open layups for an entire half. She gave Aaliyah Boston open layups in the entire half, and then she switched everything.
This is the actual situation. You can't unsee this pattern once you've noticed it. Every coach dealing with Caitlin must make a difficult choice. Do they risk her scoring 30 points and dishing out 15 assists by guarding her like any other player? Or do they commit their best defender on her in the hopes of limiting her to a near triple-double while losing their attacking flow? Basically, you have to decide between losing by a slim margin and being blown out. The way this reveals coaches' true thoughts in contrast to their public statements is absurd. Analysts discuss Caitlin's defensive shortcomings, shooting percentages, and turnovers in public. However, coaches view her as the most dangerous player on the court behind closed doors. They show how much respect and fear they have for her game by building every strategy around keeping her in check. This pattern demonstrates Caitlin's amazing influence on the game.
They talk about guarding Caitlin. It's the stuff that her own coach doesn't want her to do. Like, they'll talk about how she can see all these passes. They'll talk about how basically she's almost this like maverick type talent. And then we always say it's like, how do you guard Caitlin Clark? You get the ball out of her hands. Caitlin Clark's own coach, yeah, we don't want the ball in her hands. We actually don't want the ball in her hands. We want her playing off the ball. Other teams' coaches, how do you want to guard Caitlin? We want her to play off the ball. We want the ball out of her hands. Caitlin's coach, we don't want the ball in her hands. Like, it's one of those things where it's like all of the...
Have you noticed that? Carl Samasco informed Ryan straight out that it didn't matter if she scored 0 points. Her sole responsibility was to protect Caitlin. That is astounding. Imagine being a professional basketball player and your coach telling you that, regardless of your own scoring or rebounds, your whole job tonight is to shadow one player and make her unhappy. It demonstrates how dangerous Caitlin really is. Here's the catch, though. In one particular game, Ryan played outstanding defense, shut down Caitlin, and even scored herself. Thus, this tactic is not infallible. However, coaches understand that spectators don't always see the whole picture. It goes beyond Caitlin's point total. It's whether she has control over the game. The true issue is her pace and flow, which is why teams take such drastic measures to keep her in check.
When they beat the Fever when the Fever beat them in Caitlin's rookie year, Hayla McBride literally did not shoot a jump shot until the fourth quarter. Like, literally didn't shoot a jump shot till the fourth quarter.
Yes, Becky Hammond took a risk against probably the best player in the WNBA, AJ Wilson. She purposefully left her vulnerable by giving her open layups for a whole half.
Why?
She essentially urged AJ, go ahead and score, because she was so focused on stopping Caitlin. We won't assist Caitlin. Hammond did this because the numbers made sense, even if it could appear like the ultimate disregard for defense. Except for Caitlin, she was prepared to let anyone else defeat her team. Surprisingly, this tactic proved effective in the second half when Hammond changed everything, making it difficult for Stephanie White to adapt. Here's the actual issue, though. That kind of change was beyond the capabilities of Caitlyn's own coach. What may happen if Caitlyn had a coach who genuinely understood how to make the most of her abilities? Things become much more intriguing at that point. The way Caitlyn is used by her own coach and how other coaches view her are clearly at odds. She is unguardable, according to rival coaches. She is able to photograph from any location. She requires several defenders since her passing is exceptional. Nevertheless, having the ball in her hands is not even a top priority for her attacking scheme. It resembles having a Ferrari while only using the second gear. The way detractors discuss Stephanie White shows how frustrated they are. They're not accusing her of being a poor coach. They claim that she is not Caitlyn's ideal coach. Caitlyn's system does not prioritize the skills that make her unstoppable. She is viewed by opposing coaches as a transcendent talent with the potential to take over in a variety of ways. Her own team plan, on the other hand, appears to underutilize her entire potential. This disconnect may be preventing her from realizing her full potential. It is obvious that every squad Caitlyn has seen thus far does not want the ball in her hands. However, her own coach appears to like it that way. Fever supporters should be furious just by reading the statement. Consider the implications. Coaches like Nate Tibbetts, Sandy Brondello, Becky Hammond, and Cheryl Reeve are all creating game plans with the express purpose of keeping the ball out of Caitlyn's hands. It's not because Caitlyn turns it over frequently that they're using full court pressure, trapping, and switching everything. They know that if she takes the ball up and starts the offense, she will destroy their defense, even though she only made 3 turnovers under full court pressure this season. However, Stephanie White willingly takes the ball away from Caitlyn during offensive sets. It appears as though her work is being done by opposing defenses. The most annoying aspect is that we have evidence of what occurs when teams genuinely attempt to contain Caitlyn. For instance, Cheryl Reeve told Kayla McBride, "Your job is Caitlyn Clark and nothing else matters." So, she didn't try a jump shot until the 4th quarter of a game. That's 3 top coaches, Reeve, Tibbetts, and Brondello, making the same deliberate choice to neutralize their top offensive players and focus all of their efforts on slowing her down. And despite all of that sacrifice, Caitlyn managed to control the game, almost record triple-doubles, and make her teammates more effectively. Imagine what she could do if her coach created an offense that maximized rather than minimized her skills. That is the section that ought to catch everyone's interest. In professional athletics, what we're seeing is really uncommon. Caitlyn has a remarkable blend of abilities, flexibility, and leadership. With the correct coaching style, she could reach her full potential and completely transform the game, displaying the exceptional player she is meant to become. We're seeing a player so remarkable that she's disclosing the basic restrictions on coaching techniques. Sandy Brondello freely acknowledged that while analytics frequently suggest one course of action, watching Caitlyn perform makes you think, nope, disregard that. That's a coach admitting that conventional basketball knowledge isn't always applicable. Furthermore, Brondello is not alone himself. This has been a problem for every coach who has dealt with Caitlyn. Should they trust their eyes and make changes in real time, or should they rely on their systems, data, and preparation? Because Caitlyn doesn't follow the norm. She takes photos from distances that ought to be bad yet aren't. She makes passes that ought to be turnovers, yet manage to reach their intended recipient. She is in charge of games, without having to control the ball. The historical relevance of this is what makes it even more amazing. LeBron James changed positional play, while players like Steph Curry changed the game by making defenders reconsider their three-point tactics. In the WNBA, Caitlyn is now following suit. She is forcing coaches to decide whether to remain with their current practices or make adjustments in order to survive. The majority are choosing to survive by using full-court pressures because they slow down the ball's movement rather than because they induce turnovers. They only have 3 throughout the season. Everything is switched. It's done to keep her from discovering her rhythm, not because it's sound defense. To slow her down, coaches are sacrificing offensive players to become defensive experts. These are desperate strategies, and desperation frequently reveals genuine worth. A coach's willingness to drastically change his team's identity in order to neutralize one player says a lot about how dangerous she is. From a psychological standpoint, it's much more intriguing. Caitlin is more than just a fantastic athlete, as evidenced by her capacity to question and transform coaching assumptions. She is a revolutionary force in basketball, pushing the sport as a whole into uncharted terrain and forcing everyone to reconsider what is feasible. Gravity is a concept in basketball. The amount of defensive attention a player receives simply by being on the court. Because defenders must chase Steph Curry around screens 30 feet from the rim, he exerts tremendous gravity and forces several defenders out of position. Giannis has gravity because his drives force teams to crumble, creating room for other players. But Caitlin